So I'm seeing this man and I'm seeing him. He's in a shopping center, and this man, let's say he's the victim of consumerism, and he is more of a symbol because he's an old man, and this is an indicator of for time. So he's pretty much lived out most of his life as a consumer, as um, well, I'll talk about the scene and then we'll go from there. So there's an old man, he is in a shopping center and he is basically overweight. So he has been over consuming food, and he is basically head to toe in the latest fashion. Um, but what he looks like is not mutton dressed as lamb, but he doesn't look right. He doesn't look natural. He's basically a walking advert for lots and lots of different brands, and because of that, he looks a bit silly. Just covered head to toe in brand names. He looks like a walking billboard. So he has been consuming, and he is in a place where people go to consume, and he is surrounded by lots and lots of other people who are consuming, right? And so this is basically how we live out our lives here in the Western world. We are basically taught to consume. We are treated as consumers. We basically work in this system where we work for money, and then everything is sold back to us. So we are sold accommodation, we are sold heating, we are sold water, we are sold electricity, we are sold light, we are sold clothes, we are sold food. Like, everything has a cost in this world, and it's basically what we are, what the function of our how we live our lives is all to obtain some money so we can spend it on basically everything in existence that is owned by somebody else, and they sell it to us. So this is basically what this whole vision is. It's a vision of consumerism. It's a vision of what is it? It's the hare chasing, no, the dog chasing the rabbit, right? So if you go to a dog track, in order to motivate those dogs to run around the track, they have this fake rabbit, a mechanical rabbit, which they set off just ahead of the dogs, and then that's basically what the reason why the dogs are running is they're running after this rabbit. So that's basically what I'm saying. It's a lot of people in one place who are all basically living to consume everything, and without question. So I think that this message is basically a message about authenticity. Really, it's a message about what is real and what is not, and there's something about what is underneath all of those clothes. There is something about what is underneath this false purpose, and it's truth. Really, truth is underneath all of that counterfeit, false, fakery. It's like this ugly layer, right? It's on many layers. And you go to a shopping center, it's just a collective of businesses and shops, and they're all selling you something. And you go there to spend your money. And so when you go there, you have a bunch of people walking around, and everybody's wearing the same clothes. Everybody's wearing the same labels. Everybody's advertising all of these different brands. And it's it's such, I never questioned it much when I was really young, but it's always seemed odd the way human beings the way human beings consume, the way they spend their money on consumption to feel like they're somebody else, to look like they're somebody else, to seem like they're somebody else, to be like everybody else. And so this time in my life specifically, but also in the world, there is this real urgency for the truth. There is this real urgency for people to speak the truth, for people to live their truth and to embody truth, and for that to fan out into the environment around us. Because really, that is the only way this world is going to change, and that is the only way we're going to have a different purpose for living, because capitalism, consumerism, it is not the authentic way for us to live. It is not the true way that we are aligned with, and it is not in harmony with the natural system, with nature, with the world around us. It isn't sustainable. It is a poison, much like everything else. It's not in our none of it is done with us, with our health, with our physical, mental, emotional, spiritual health in mind. It is both a part of this system of control, this hamster wheel, but also there's this other part where all of it is poisoning us. It's poisoning our spiritual system. It's poisoning our energetic system. It's poisoning our mental body, spiritual body, physical body. It's attacking us on all levels. It is taking our power away from us. It is making us less than what we were, than what we're supposed to be. And it is making us dependent. Basically, we're watching all of our freedoms disappear day by day, and the speed is really ramping up, and it's just getting ridiculous now. But I don't feel afraid. Like, as each day goes on, I just become more me, and I'm able to be me in more places, and like I am just embodying my truth. And so the energy that I'm feeling is that like today specifically, I've been feeling this energy rising in myself, and it's been stuck right up here all day, and I've had a headache ever since I woke up. And so what's been on my mind all today is this feeling of energy being stuck, and I felt that within myself. So my instinct is to think about, well, what frees that energy. So I feel like we've all been tied up for a long time, and we've all been stuck, and we've all been living this pointless existence, and we haven't been questioning it for the most part. But it's hard to ignore now. I really feel like that on a mass level. There is more people than there ever has been before who are questioning what they are living for. And so, I really only speak for myself, and if any generation, only mine. But yeah, this what I'm saying is this image of consumerism. Now, if we go back to this old man, he is a very visual symbol of this, because he is old, and he has obviously spent his whole life trying to keep up, trying to fit in, and trying to maintain. So he's lived up all his life just trying to be anything other than himself. And that's a tragedy. That is an absolute tragedy, and no lifetime is wasted. But yeah, there's a lifetime of looking into the abyss, and got goggles on. You're not really seeing how things really are. You're seeing a false sense of reality. And if you are living in a false sense of reality, you never really know who you are, because you have never really come into your true essence, and you've never lived in a world where you could be your true self. And I really feel like now there's more of a need than there ever has been before for all of us to be genuine, and for all of us to be truthful, and to stop all this bullshit, and to move away from the ego, and to move away from what's the word, from our vanity. I'm not saying never brush your hair again, never shave, etc. I'm saying to stop with what is unnecessary. And I don't mean I mean, whatever nourishes your soul, and whatever nourishes your body, and whatever nourishes your heart and your mind, right? Those things, there's nothing wrong with those things. And as long as you're not hurting anybody else, it's all good. But there is a bigger bubble, right? And so there's like us as individuals living in the system, and basically in the system you're taught to be an individual. You're not taught to be one consciousness. You're separated and segregated, so you never truly feel empowerment from the group. You never truly connect. There's always a hierarchy, there's always a pyramid structure, and it's all very much about climbing, and it's all very much about levels, and it's all very much about positions, and it's not about connection, and it's not about equality, and it isn't about balance and harmony. So we are living out of balance, and we are living out of harmony, and this whole system is not in balance and not in harmony. But it's the nature behind it in itself is a dark nature. The nature we follow blindly, it's not the light. It's not salvation. It's a prison, and these things that we live for are imprisoning us. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with indulging, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with experiencing luxury, but it's to what price, right? So I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about what is sacrificed. What is sacrificed for that luxury? What is sacrificed for that pleasure? Because we are living in a toxic environment. We are surrounded by toxic products. We are fed toxic food. We are breathing toxic air. We are not in a truthful place. We're living in an illusion, and the vision of a shopping center is it's a really good place to go, and really be, just really feel that energy, to really sit in that energy, or the supermarket even, and you'll see a million products and a million brand names, and you really understand that all that is thought of you is your only purpose is to consume, to be a consumer, to work in a system, to make money, to give money back to that system, this never ending loop where your life and your existence is sold to you. Therefore you have to spend a life in slavery, enslaved for these things which are just things. They are only material. And I'm not saying to not enjoy something that is material. We're living in a material experience, but there's no real purpose in amongst all of that. There is no real spiritual purpose. And when I say spiritual, I don't mean joyless, and I don't mean discipline, and I don't mean abstaining. I don't mean any of these things. I mean a deeper meaning, a deeper sense of knowing, a deeper understanding of things, a spiritual maturity, a growth. I mean, I'm talking about that. I'm talking about if all of these things, if they're all false, if they're all fake, if they're all counterfeit, if they're all dead, right? If all this food that we're eating is all dead, then what sustenance are we getting? So I'm just sitting in this energy. I'm trying to ascertain what this overall message is, because the picture is being painted, but what is this message? Maybe this message is for people who feel like me, who see this and who feel this, but the world hasn't yet changed, and so we live on the outskirts, we live on the fringes. I mean, I even moved to the outskirts. I moved to the fringes to get away from all of that, just so I didn't have to feel it all and feel that energy. And I can tell you that living out on the fringes, in the peace and the quiet, all I hear here are the birds, is the wind, the rain, it's the elements, it's just nature. And you can hear yourself think. And when you sit in silence, you can get all the answers to all the questions that you want. You really only need to look inside of yourself for all answers. But when you're in the noise, you don't know that. You don't hear your answers. And in that way of life, it's just you're kept so busy, you're kept on the go, you never get a chance to question things. You never have the energy at the end of the day to meditate, to pause, to reflect, to do all these types of things. And so yeah, there's a disconnect there. There isn't a connection to your actual power, your inner being, and so you can't become a whole version of yourself. And I think that I can get a truer sense of the contrast now that I've lived on the fringes for a few years. And I can't really, it's something that you really have to experience. But there's just something so sad about the vision of this old man, the vision of this man he has overindulged. He may even not have overindulged. He's just eating crap food, right? He's eating food which bloats him, food which makes him put on weight, right? Lots of sugar. And he's desperately trying to fit in, even though he's an old man. He's still trying to keep up with the times. He's trying to move with them. He's trying to be accepted. And to be honest with you, he's got to the point where he can't keep up anymore, and he's starting to look ridiculous. But he doesn't know who he's supposed to be, because he doesn't know who he is. He's lived his whole life, and he has no sense of who he really is. He's just a walking billboard. He's just advertising all these other brands. His life has not been valued by the system that he lives in. he has been used. He's just free advertising. He's literally been used up. His whole life has been lived, and he has been used up. And all of that money has been generated from his existence, and soon he will die. And everybody's walking around, and they're all like this in this in this mall, in this shopping center. They're all like this. They're all different representatives of different generations. Everybody's in a different stage of life. They're a different age, but they are all just walking billboards. They are all just advertising all of these different brands, and they are literally living their life around consuming. They're stuck in jobs that they don't like to get money, to pay bills, to buy these labels, to buy, it's like it's the sole purpose of their lives is just to obtain these things so they can all feel like they are the same as each other without ever really having any real connection to each other. And so, like, I really feel it's about what is true, what is real, yeah, what is counterfeit, what is fake. Because now I feel like the time is to really go one way or the other. Like, just decide which side of the fence you're on and make that change in your life. Like, I really do feel like now is the time to commit to a truth, commit to your truth, and stop living this way. Stop living for no reason other than just to consume. Yeah, I feel like this message, I have like the energy and everything, but I'm going off the energy as opposed to clairvoyance, so it's a little bit easier when you have images, because you don't need to take the sense of direction. You don't need to take the responsibility for it, but when it's the energy, and you're trying to articulate it, it's really just pulling it from the inside, and I don't have the image to clarify if this is making any sense. But yeah, I think that I'm just going to leave it there. So I really do feel like we've lived long enough. We've lived long enough in this false sense of reality. We've lived long enough not really understanding who we are and living our lives and always feeling like something isn't quite right. And I just feel like now's the time just to choose something else, because this world is going to hell in a handbasket. Not literally, but in all of my life, it's never got any better. It's clearly not getting any better. Everything is getting worse in terms of the fake, the counterfeit, the true nature of the controlling power that is guiding humanity, that is enforcing the rules on humanity. And as a father, how can you leave this world to your children? It's not a better world than the world that I grew up in, with the world from when I was young in my childhood. The world isn't any different. It's dressed up a little differently. It promises more, delivers less. So I just feel like now's the time to decide who we truly are, to find out who we truly are, and to try and harness our power to make a joint effort to change the way this world is. And we need to do that on an energetic level. We need all to be energetically vibrating at that same place for it to actually happen. But yeah, I think that's the message, and I'm also losing the light.